Hello, my name is Mike Jolly, and I'm the head of student safety here at Securely. Welcome to the course, Home Essentials. The purpose of this course is to talk about Securely's parent integration feature. We have a web-based parent portal and a home app for iOS or Android, and we want to talk about why this should be something you implement in your parent community. Why is this necessary, and then what are the benefits? So let's kind of jump into why it's so important right now for parents to be able to engage in what their kids are learning and what activity they're doing on their school device. We're seeing massive increases in the amount of time that students are spending on the internet. Part of that's due to COVID and remote learning, but we're already seeing increases in screen time prior to that. We're seeing an increase in suicides, in cyberbullying, and just some awful things that are kind of those bad side effects of students being involved in technology more than ever. We're also seeing some long-term consequences that students are facing for decisions they make when it comes to online activity. So when you look at all those things, it's going to be really tough for parents, right, to parent their kid because they're having to try to understand, well, what are they doing? Where are they going? What are they up to? And kids aren't necessarily forthcoming. In a previous life, I was a high school principal, and I love teaching and learning. I'm a self-proclaimed curriculum nerd, and my own daughters, when I ask them, what'd you learn today? They look at me and they say, nothing, Dad. And so, the whole point is that I can see their digital footprint with Securely's parent integration, and then I can frame those conversations intentionally instead of just a shot in the dark. And as we talk about the app, let's talk about the goals and what we really want to get to. First and foremost is student safety. The main goal of this app is to let parents be in touch when the student is doing something online, like visiting a site or searches online that are indicative of bullying, of self-harm, depression, suicide, things parents really need to be made aware of. And this app will alert them in real time when those things are going on. But it absolutely does go beyond student safety. We want to look at general parent engagement. It is really tough for parents to know what their kids are doing. I can sign into my own kid's student information system. I can see their grades. I can see their attendance. I can find out what they had for lunch if I want to, but it's really hard to get down into, well, what websites exactly were you looking at? What searches were you typing into Google? Because we all know, Google can kind of be the source of truth for kids. If they really want to know something, they go to Google and they get very specific. It may be for research. It may be for something that's not good. But either way, as a parent, I want to know about it, and I know other parents want to know about it, so we can parent our children. There's also the screen time component. We mentioned that screen time for kids is increasing across all grade levels and all ages of young people who are in school right now. And so we know that parents want the ability to limit that. Our app does that. We also want to help with digital citizenship. Parents get that insight of what their kids are doing so they can see, and they're not blind to the fact that, kids sometimes make mistakes. It's hard for adults to sometimes post using common sense when we look at social media. So if it's hard for an adult, how hard is it going to be for a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid? So another advantage is giving parents insight into what their kids are doing and interests, and just so they can have those supportive conversations when they need to say, hey, don't be an idiot online. That stuff can be out there forever. It can also build trust in the parent community. Every time I work with school districts around the country, and even when I was a principal myself, in a school district in North Carolina, we always wanted to be as transparent as possible, right? It's always good to have that transparency. And this is another level of transparency you can offer to say, we're putting a device in your child's hands. We're giving them access to it. They're using the school network. They're using lots of school-owned technology. And, along with that is your ability as a parent to go in and actually see what they're doing. And so those are the things that excite me about the app. So what you're really going to understand out of this course is what the app will do and how to get it kicked off. So with that being said, the first thing that I want to look at is I want to look at the app itself. I want to give you a really quick overview of what your parents are going to see, what they're going to be able to do when they get into Securely Home app. So as you look at Securely's, the apps that we offer, we have the tip line. We have Securely Home, as you see here. So I'm going to select Securely Home. And what you'll see there are four main sections here on your screen. You have an activity feed. You have flagged activity. You have rules. offline schedules. And then at the very bottom, you also have the pause internet feature, which we'll talk about. So just at a high level, the activity feed that we see here is going to give parents a per student insight into what their kids have done over the last 30 days. So as a parent, I can go in and I can see, well, what's my kid been up to? Because when I asked her, what'd you learn today? She looked at me and she said nothing. And I know that's not true. So I can look through here and say, okay, we're searching for YouTube. Oh, well, here's a search. How many senators? How many representatives? So I can get an insight, okay, probably learning about, civics and economics, government, and there are some things I can frame conversations around with my child. They went to Quizlet. So again, and then you see something here that's called out and it's highlighted, it's in red, searched for, how do I know I'm depressed? Again, that's a very important thing for a parent to know. And as we talk about student safety with this app, this is one of those things that I'm going to get a real-time push notification for. Okay. We also see things like searched for I'm Just a Bill, and then you'll see the YouTube Schoolhouse Rock America, I'm Just a Bill. So another neat thing is when the child watches a video, I can click right on that link and it's going to take me directly into YouTube to the video that they watched. So again, really solid insight on what they're doing. So that's the activity feed. It's 30 days of activity per kid. It lets me see their sites visited, the searches they conduct, and the videos they watch. Over beside that on the right, you have the flagged activity feed. And the flagged activity feed, again, is going to separate those searches that have been flagged by Securely that are related to bullying, self-harm, or violence. We keep those in a separate section because when the parent gets looking at an activity feed, it can be very, very long. And even though we do highlight those flag searches in the activity feed, we feel it's also useful to have a separate section so parents can really drill down and see what's there. Then you have rules. Rules is really exciting, and I will show you, I'll walk through your interface that you have as a Securely admin in just a minute, and it's going to show you essentially what options you have, but you do have full control over what controls the parents have. And what that means is you can give them no control, some control, or full control of filtering that device when school is not in session, essentially when kids are off site. And there's a lot of good reasons to do that. We know that parents sometimes differ in their philosophy with their kids over, what they should be allowed to access or not when the device is not on campus. Again, lots of reasons that a parent may want to allow or block something. There are sites, for example, that the school doesn't block. Nothing wrong with the site, but it turns out to be the kid is wasting a lot of time on there. It's a distraction. They're going to that site at night instead of doing their homework. So it gives parents the ability to go in then and block those sites and help keep their kids be more productive. And it's very easy with Securely Home. You can block an entire site or a category like streaming media. You'll see here where it's allowed. I simply block that, and now streaming media is not allowed. Let's say I don't want to block all streaming media. I can go up to sites. And let's say, you'll see, for example, I want to type in Netflix. Netflix is giving me an issue, so I'm going to type in netflix.com, and now Netflix is blocked for my child when they're not on campus or when school is not in session. So again, we try to make this parent-proof, if you will, because the last thing we know you want is parents going in and blocking their kids from accessing the internet or blocking specific sites they need during instructional time. Then you have the screen time management sites, which are kind of a fan favorite among parents. These allow you to set an unlimited number of recurring times during which the device does not connect to the internet. So they have that Chromebook at home, they have that Apple device, whatever it is. The parent can go in and toggle here for bedtime, and you can see, let's say they want to set it at 9 p.m. to 6 o'clock a.m. I've done that. That's on school days, Sunday through Thursday. And then now I have the peace of mind as a parent to know that they're not accessing the internet on the school device during those times at night. Kind of stops that fight where, we've heard feedback from parents that, they're prying Chromebooks from their kids' hands and things like that. And this is meant to avoid those situations. You can set a device-free dinner time. You can set a outdoor play time. It's, again, totally unlimited in the amount of recurring schedules parents can set to manage screen time. And then not only do we have the ability to set those recurring times of no internet, the parents can also pause the internet on the fly, and you can do this per kid. So if I need them to get offline right now, I can go in, you'll see here, I pick which kid I want to pause, I select pause, and now you see the device is paused. So again, lots of advantages to having these features for parents. I also want to highlight one additional thing, since we're talking to schools, and a lot of districts that have rolled this out in the past have said, look, we don't want parents bombarding us. I don't need parents emailing me, how do I unblock this, or how do I block this, anything like that. So we actually, through the app, provide support. So you'll see down here at the help, I can go in and click help, and I can access a laundry list of FAQs, or I can go right in and create a ticket with our parent-only support team. And I think the great thing about this is it allows us and our experts to go in and work with parents and provide that support there, so parents can engage, they can get the help they need, and they don't need to get you over involved in that and unnecessarily send tickets to the technology department at the school. So that is a high-level overview of the app. Again, it's got an activity feed for parents to see 30 days of activity. We have flagged activity that separates those items that are indicative of bullying, self-harm, and violence. And parents can get a real-time push notification if something is flagged. We have the rules section where parents can go in and block sites. They can block categories. They can essentially do whatever you allow them to do. And then there's offline schedules and pause button, which give that screen time management that they have.